sitting, whatever your sitting position is, it definitely doesn't need to be cross-legged. I always remember when I first started doing, years ago, a long time ago when I did my first yoga, I couldn't sit cross-legged. So I always felt a bit like at the beginning of the class, like I was already not able to do it. So that's why generally I like sitting cross-legged now, but nobody ever needs to sit cross-legged. Comfy is what we're looking for. Come into your space. Take a few conscious breaths where you're letting yourself land in this space, letting yourself be in this space. And noticing how you are this morning. So however that is, notice it. Whether you're coming in bright and breezy, desperate for a cup of tea, you've not had it yet. However you are this morning, let yourself be here. Okay? Accepting how you are. And then we'll take a few shoulder rolls, letting the body have a little bit of movement. Okay? And then you might go the other way. So we'll generally always start one way, go the other way. And then maybe just give it all a wee kind of shake out. And then take your hands to the side and take a breath in and up. And then turn the palms down and take them down. Great, we'll do that another couple of times. Brilliant. So it doesn't need to be a huge big stretch, it's just that beginning to move. Letting the body wake up a bit. Nice, keep them down there. And then if you take the arms up to about shoulder level, and then turn to your left and take a little twist. Come back to where you were, and then turn to your right. So I'm mirroring you. Come back to the center. We'll do it one more time each way. In your own time. Nice. Arms back to the center, take them up. And then take one down and over to one side. Nice. And then come both arms up again. And then over to the other side. Brilliant. And then we'll take the arms up, we'll take them behind, find your fingertips or hands on the floor, press into them and lift your chest. Take a breath or two, nice. And then come back to the front and place your hands on your knees or where they're comfy. And then take a few cat-cows. So just let your spine move into a little curl and then lifting the chest up. And doing the best that you can, given we're just moving, to not really use the shoulders too much here. So using the torso, the breastbone, the waist, and a bit of movement. Nice. And then we're going to come back to the center and have a play with this, a little bit of circling. So I kind of imagine that my waist making a big, my rib cage is making a big circle. And as best you can, again, not really involving the shoulders, and then go the other way. But it is first thing in the morning, you've just started moving, so this isn't about getting it right, overly analysing it, it's just about moving. Nice, okay. Back to the centre, we're going to take the hands in front and we're going to drop the head round the spine. Take a breath, let the shoulder blades move apart. Nice. And then back to the centre, drop the arms and then give the wrists a little shake out, give the shoulders a little wiggle. Brilliant. And then come onto all fours. So coming onto all fours, spreading your hands out, and a nice kind of palm print on the mat. And then from there, we're going to take a few cat-cows. Again, let the spine move. So we're going to really warm up the spine here. And kind of really feel your way with it. Yeah. So I always think our spine, when we let it move, just really kind of knows intuitively how to move. There's a time and place we want to maybe tap into some of the nuances of it, but also if we can just really feel the movement of it, it's nice to do that in the morning. Yeah. Get a bit of movement, and then come back to the center and then just play with this. It's a little bit what we did sitting. We're going to circle the ribs. So you get that kind of cat-cow, but you're going over to the side with it as well. So the arms will, as best you can, keep the arms straight. They'll probably want to bend. Get a bit of movement through the spine. And then go the other way. Nice, really nice. Brilliant, guys. Lovely. And then we'll do one more. And then come into the center. Take your knees wide, your toes together. Press the hips back. And it's, always think it's a sort of wiggle into a child's pose. And reach your arms forward just to where they're happy to reach forward this morning. So you might reach forward and let your elbows drop. You might like that reach all the way through your fingertips to kind of play with where yours is this morning. If it's got that, oh, I really want to stretch, really go with that. If you're tired, then maybe it's enough to let the elbows settle. Take a breath or two here. And then walk the hands back, lift the chest, bring your knees together and come up to your knees. Okay. Take the hands behind you, press the hands down, lift the chest up, open the collarbones, and then just a little lift with the breastbone, a little lift with the face. Reaching the hands down. Nice. And then bring the gaze of the breastbone down. And we're going to come back into child's pose again. Again, take the knees wide and the toes together and reach out and settle into it. And then once you're here, take the right hand a bit more over to the right and the left hand over towards it. We'll come into a little side bend. You might drop the head down through the arms if it'll go there. It might not, might be too early, you might just not have that mobility. A breath or two. And then walk the hands to the center and then over to the left. And let's get a bit of reach through the right hand side. And again, if the head will drop down, let it drop down. Not forcing it. Nothing's forced at this time of the morning. I'm a firm believer in nothing's forced in yoga ever, but definitely not when we're first waking up. And then bring the hands back to the center. You might stay here in child's pose, or you might tuck the toes under, bring the knees together and press back into down dog. Whichever one feels the best one for you. If you're in down dog, take a little bit of walk through the feet. If you're in child's pose, maybe you can reach a little bit more through the fingers, the hands. And then settle in down dog if you're there, reach through the heels, press forward through the fingers. And then whichever one you're in, you're going to come to your knees and we're going to come up onto our knees. Brilliant. Okay. So take your left foot forward. So I think, let's go with left so I don't get confused with side to side, and press forward into a lunge. Okay. Having your knee above your ankle or thereabouts. Nice. Okay, stay here for a wee moment, just with arms wherever they land, getting a bit of opening in the front of the right hip. And then walk your left foot out a little bit more. And then see where you can bring the hands to. If you can come down to the mat, bring them down. Great, looks like everyone can do that. Nice work. And then sort of play with, can you get the fingertips down? Can you get the hands all the way down? Doesn't matter which, but just kind of see where can I let myself come down to here. Okay. And drawing your chest forward over your arms. Weighting into the hands. And then we're going to come to the fingertips. If you're not already, you're going to lift the chest. You're going to come chest up, back to both knees. And this time we're going to take the hands to the back of the body and we're going to press the pelvis forward and lift the chest up in the gaze. Nice. We're going to do a few of these lunges and you can always come back to where we've been just now. We might just add in some twists, see how you feel. bring the gaze and the breastbone down, and then take your right foot forward. Okay, so come into that little lunge first, chest up, give your body time to find it, settle into it. Nice. Then you're going to walk the right foot out a little bit, give yourself a bit of space, and then find the place where you can come down to hands towards the mat. Good job, guys. So you might be on fingertips. See if the heels of the palm of the hands will go down. So not forcing it, but sometimes I find that people are up in their fingertips when the hands can go down. It's quite a different feel. You can habitually stay up in the fingertips. Just feeling where you can go to here. And again, I can almost draw into the chest towards the arms, forward, not down. And then if you are down on the palms of the hands, up to the fingertips, gradually lifting the chest, come back onto both knees. And then again, either sending back into child's pose or hands to the floor and coming up to down dog, whichever one you prefer. Never an expectation way. I'll pretty much always do down dog because it's my favorite thing to do in yoga. So it's not saying that down dog should be what you do. And stay for a couple of breaths. Nice. And then come down to the knees. Lift the chest up or come up to your knees. And again, we'll take the left foot forward into a little lunge. Okay, so come forward like you did. Wiggle the foot a wee bit wider and again, bring your hands down. Good job. And then we're going to keep the left hand on the floor and we're going to open the right arm out and turn the chest and the torso to the right. So we're coming into a open twist. Yep, you're right, and D. Good job. Brilliant, everyone. The arm doesn't like it up, you can bring it to the hip, opening that chest. And then bring that right arm down, swap it over so the right arm's on the floor and you're turning the chest to the left, weight into that right arm, and maybe the left arm will go up, maybe it'll come on to the hip or the back of the body. Really nice, well done. Did I say I was taking the arms out? It's been quite a lot of arms so far. They are coming out. And then bring that back to the front, settle both hands, walk your chest back up, and then come back up onto both knees. Roll the shoulders and take a stretch of the arms back. A little press of the pelvis. Good job. So stop for a breath or two with the chest up before we do the other side. Nice. Okay, so unclasp the hands. The right leg's going to come forward. That was almost a game of Twister. Right hand on red. You find that lunge and then a little bit opening of the right foot out and then find the hands to the floor. Good job, guys. And as best you can, feel weight into both those arms. So often when we come into a twist, we're a bit more over to one side and not using not using the other side. So we're going to weight into the right arm here. And we're going to open the left out to the side, turn the chest to the left, either the arms up in the air or you're placing it on the back of the hip, back of the waist. Nice work, guys. Take a breath or two here, pushing into the right arm. And then bring that down, chest to the front. And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to weight into the left, turn towards the right leg, open that arm. And again, either arms up, or it's on the back of the body, the chest opening. Nice. Good job. And then bring that back down to the front, settle both arms, and then walk your chest up. Come back to your knees, take a roll of the shoulders, and then one more time, it's either child's pose or down dog, whichever one you want. Okay. So reaching through the arms, whichever one you're in, pressing the hips back, lengthening the side of the waist. Take a breath or two. Really nice. And then coming up from child's pose or down from down dog, and we're going to meet once more on our knees, our hips up. Okay. hands onto your hips. Okay, so I think best thing is if I show you this and then you have a go. Okay, so we're going to take the arms out here. What I found is we can make this really complicated for ourselves, me included doing it. So you're going to take the right ear, you're going to turn your head to the left, and you're going to bring the right ear towards the mat. Then you come up and you take the left ear towards the mat. So your hips are going back a little bit. Yeah, have a little go of it. We'll maybe do sort of 3 times each side. So what I find when I do this, I really try and twist the shoulders, and it is simply turning the head and bringing that ear towards the floor. Good job, guys. And it's fascinating that I find when I've done it with anyone, the first protocol we go to is taking the harder option of trying to twist the whole body into it. It is simply a turn of the head. Great. If you're on the left side, make that your last one. If you've got left side to do that, and then come back up to knees. Brilliant. Roll the shoulders, hands down, lift chest up. I always think it's one of those that cogs in the brain go, wait, what? Then it gets it. Nice, nice breath here. Okay, guys, bring that down, and then bring one foot in front of you, step onto it, and come and stand at the top of your mat. Get yourself settled at the top of your mat onto both feet. And give yourself time to be upright there. Okay, feet maybe about hip width apart. Reach the fingers down. Good look forward. Settle the breath. Feel both feet. You might take a wee moment to feel front of feet, back of feet. Good job. Okay. And then hands come to hips. Nice and steady on the hips. We're going to take, let's all go the right foot forward. We're going to come into triangle. Okay, so I should be able to describe it all whether I'm at the back of you or not. Step back, turn heel and toes out, and bring that front foot roughly in line with that inside arch of the back. Turn to the right as best you can, keep the legs straight, and lift up through the torso. Nice, okay. We're going to take the arms out wide, reach them out wide, take a good reach, and then when you're ready, coming into triangle, pressing the right hip out, folding over that left leg, and either reaching the top arm up or placing it on the hip or into the back of the body, whichever one feels the best for your arm. Take a moment here, lengthen through the waist. Nice. And then on your next in-breath, come back up. Keep the legs and feet where they are. Lift up through the torso, and then hug your arms around you. Doesn't matter which one goes over or which one goes around. So as if you're giving yourself a cuddle with your arms. Okay. From here, now come into triangle without the arms. Kick the right hip out. Reach through the waist. So waist, waist, waist. That's what's going to give you that fold. If we reach through the waist, you might not get as far, but feel the difference. Keep breathing length through your waist. Gorgeous. Then on the next in-breath, come back up. Nice. We're going to do it one more time without the arms before we bring them back in. So a real kick out of the right hip. Reach the waist over that left leg. And keep reaching out into space as if you're reaching the top of your head to the top of the mat. Keep length. Good job. Keep the crown of your head reaching out your spine. And in your next in-breath, come on up. Open the arms. We're going to take a little warrior two so that front leg gets a bit of a bend. And settle for a moment here in warrior two. Nice. Reach the arms out, or they can always come behind you if they need to be down. Nice. Okay. Straighten that front leg again. We're going to hug the arms to go into triangle, and then we're going to bring them in. So same as you've just done, fold over into triangle without the arms. And once you've got the reach to your spine, extend the arms out into it. So reach them open. Gorgeous. And really feel the arms coming in and reaching. You can settle into the leg. You might be at a different Your hands on the leg might be slightly different from what it usually is. Maybe lower, higher. Take one more breath here. And on the next in breath, come on up. Turn to look at the front, bend the front knee and step to the front. Give the legs a good old kick out and then come back to mountain pose. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Settle in onto both legs. And take a couple of breaths. Okay, we're going to do that on the other side. So hands to hips first. Left leg comes back, a good step back, heel and toes out, walk the front foot in a little bit, roughly to the arch, and then you're going to turn to the left as best you can. Legs are straight, and we're going to reach the arms out. Okay, so find your feet, find a really good steady base. And then we're going to do triangle like we normally do. Kick the left hip out, fold yourself over that right leg, arms reaching up, and as best you can, reach to your waist. Nice. Take a few breaths here, kind of feel where it is, feel where the hands are, the arms are. Crown of head, reach in. Nice, and then in your next in-breath, you're going to come up. Nice. Keeping the legs straight, we're going to fold the arms around us, give ourselves a good hug, almost in. See if you can almost touch your shoulder blades at the back. Doesn't matter if you can, but if you can, give them a good old hold. Then we come into triangle out the arms. So kick the left hip out, fold over the right leg, and it all comes from the waist. Reach, 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 reach through that waist and crown of head. There's a push back from the front right leg and a push forward with the back left leg. Nice. Big deep breath in brings you up. Tailbone underneath us. Good job. We're going to do that again. So it's like the tailbone kind of kicks over to the left. And then we reach out through the waist. I can't think of a better thing than kicks over. What's the word I'm looking for? Dials round to the left. Reach out through the crown of the head. Brilliant. On your in-breath, come on up. Let's give that right leg a bit of relief. Reach the arms out, bend that front leg, and have a wee warrior. The arms can either be out or you can take them to your hips or bring them down. Yeah, good job, Anne. Okay. So we'll do triangle once more, starting without the arms, and then we'll bring them in. So straighten that right leg, hug the arms round. Turn the tailbone over towards the left. It's like a little swing. That's the word I was looking for, swing. Reach out through the torso. And then when you feel you've reached out, bring the arms in. Let the hands come to the leg and either up in the air or behind. And notice where it is. I don't know about you, but for me, when I take the arms out, I've come way further into the triangle because I've not got stopped by the arms or relied on the arms to hold me in a certain position. Awesome. And then in your next in-breath, come on up, look to the front of the mat, a little bend with the front knee, and then a step to the front, a good kick out of the legs, give them a really good kick. And then we're in mountain pose. Fab. Okay, so stay here for a wee moment, look forward, take a good spacious breath. And I'm going to come this way so I can see you. So you can see me. Bring your feet and legs together. So rather than hip width apart, they're more together, okay? And place the hands on your hips. You're going to bend at the knees and you're going to bend at the hips. So we come into a little chair, little squat, knee bend, whatever you want to call it, okay? And we're going to take the arms behind us and we're going to reach them back. So from there, reach a bit more through the breastbone and the tail and the crown of the head. So that same lengthening through the waist here. We're not going deeper in the legs particularly. Might be pressing the inside of the legs together to keep us steady. And then we're going to push through the legs, come on up. Unclasp the hands, give everything a wee shake. Okay. And then bring the legs back together again. Clasp the hands behind. Nice. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bend at the knees, bend at the hips, the ankles, take a seat, and then reach through the waist. So again, yes, the legs are bending, but we're getting the torso reaching to counterbalance it. Maybe the tailbone goes a little bit further back or a little bit lower, and then it's up to you. If this feels really steady and nice, stay here. You might want to swing the arms forward now and see how that feels. It's not about how high they go, but more how far they reach out the sides of the waist. Steady. Nice big breath. And on your next in breath, come up, arms coming up, or arms are behind you. Unclasp the arms or bring them down. Roll the shoulders, kick the legs. Awesome. Nice. And then if you're at the top of the mat, you can stay there. Your feet are going to come wide. You're going to bend the knees and you're going to let yourself hang. So the knees don't need to be bent if you want to have more of a stretch. We're going to just let the head come down, shake the head, shake the arms out. Bit of a forward bend for a little bit of relief. And then when you're ready, rolling yourself up and roll the shoulders, kick the legs. And we're going to come back to that place where your knees and feet are together. And this time we're going to hug. Oh no, we're bringing the arms out. Okay. So from here, inside the legs might be pressing together, bend at the knees, bend at the hips. So do you remember when we were on our knees and we went ear comes towards the floor? From here, think about it's not going to go to the floor, don't worry, but you're turning and letting your ear move towards the floor. Then you're coming back up, and then the left ear is moving towards the floor. So really we're just bending forward. We're going to do it just twice each side, guys. There's a turn of the head to get the twist. Coming back up. One more time. And then we stand all the way up. We unclasp the arms, give them a good shake out. And then once more, softening the knees, dropping the head down, taking a fold forward. Absolutely brilliant, well done. Give it all a shake out. And then roll yourself up and come and stand steady into mountain pose. Fab. Okay, so really nice and steady there. Over time, perfect. Okay, so we're going to take one more standing pose, then a balance, and then we'll come down to the floor. So at the front of your mat, if you've moved away from there, come back to the front of your mat, feet about hip width apart, hands on hips. And we're going to take the right foot back. We're going to take a step back. We're going to keep the feet hip width apart, but we're going to turn that back heel in and toes out. So we're not wiggling the front foot in a wee bit this time, okay? Hands come to hips, and then a little turn towards the right. So it's not quite going to triangle. You'll get stuck with the feet. It might not turn you around as much, okay? And then we're going to open the arms. No, we're not. I'm talking absolute pants here. Hands on hips, keep facing the front. What was I saying about having so many cups of tea? So, chest forward, feet are exactly what I said, and then you're going to fold forward from there. So reach through your waist, and it doesn't need to be low here. It's much more reach than drop. Then you're going to take your right hand, let it drop down, and turn the chest towards the left, and the right hand's going to find your left leg somewhere, anywhere but the kneecap. So mine wants to go to the kneecap, so I'm just coming higher. Get a little bit of a twist here, pressing into the back foot and the front foot. Take a breath, reaching through the torso. Nice. And then you're going to turn the chest to the floor. You're going to lift it up, bend the front knee, and come to the front. Little shake of the legs, and then we're back in mountain pose. That was going to be awfully complicated if I'd gone when I was going there, because that was not going to work. Hands onto hips, take a look forward, good steady look at the day. Then your left foot's going to go back and we're going to do the same. So we're about hip width apart, but we're turning that back heel in and toes out. So we're in a little kind of 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Good. Front toes reach in. And then again, we're folding ourselves over that front leg, reaching through the waist, lifting up out the legs. Both legs have got weight in them. So if you're anything like me, you want to bring it all onto the right. So push down into that left heel. Then drop the left arm down, just let it hang. Turn the chest to the right and let that left hand find your right leg. Brilliant. Good job, guys. Yeah. So you'll be looking towards the right. And then you either reach that right arm or it's on the back of your body. It's much more about the waist and the spine than the arms. Take your gaze back down to the floor. Lift the chest, soften the front knee, step to the front of the mat, give it all a shake, and then stand steady in mountain pose. Brilliant. And then once more, if it feels like this is a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, a reprieve from the standing, bend your knees and let yourself hang. If that feels a real challenge for you, if it doesn't feel like, oh, that's nice, the suggestion is that you just stand and roll, kick the legs a wee bit, have some kind of relief through the body after the strong stance. And then roll yourself up if you're folded, give it a kick. And again, I'm coming here so you can see me, feet a bit hip width apart, and we'll just do a little tree pose on each side. Okay, so nothing new, nothing complicated, a bit of balance. So feel your feet nice and firm on the floor. Get a sense of your waist is long, but your chest is soft. Hands on hips. And then when you're ready, bring the weight, if I mirror you, bring the weight onto your left leg, turn the right knee out. And then you're going to find where you want that right foot. Either toes are on the floor, foot's on the calf, or the foot might come up to the upper thigh, whichever works for you. Chest nice and proud, gaze forward, fixed on something that's not going to move. And you're feeling the steadiness of your feet, or the wobble of your feet, but there's a steadiness with it. Hands can come to heart center. And then let's steady the breath. If you feel yourself wobbling, focus on the out breath. Settling, steadying. One more breath. And then bring it down, give it a kick out. And settle back onto both legs. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. Hands to hips, start to take the weight on the right. Open the left hip and knee, and then feel where you want that left foot to be. Whether the ball of the foot's on the floor, at the calf or the thigh. And you can press that foot into the leg and press the leg into the foot, which can give the balance. And then hands to heart center when you're ready. So let the legs work with each other. As we press them in, it gives us a real kind of sense of our center axis. Steady breath, out breath. Yeah, don't look at me. I got almost toppled everybody there. And then bring it down, give it a little kick out. Brilliant. Roll the shoulders. And then just before we come down to the floor, hands are behind us, arms reaching down, chest going to lift. Feel the heels reaching down, the balls of the feet pressing, and a sense that the thighs are lengthening, the front of the hips are opening, the tummy's got a bit of a stretch, collarbones are open, and the arms are reaching down. Gorgeous. Okay, one more big deep breath here. And then release that opening, lifting at the front, bring the gaze down, and then we're going to find our way however you get there down to the floor. You might want to give things a bit of a shake. We're going to come and sit on our bottom when you're ready. Okay, you might do some fancy transition that takes a swan dive down. Go for it. And then come and sit on your bottom when you're ready. We're going to put the soles of the feet together and the knees open. And before, we're going to fold forward, but before we do that, let the hands settle into the legs. And again, get that sense of lift up through the waist, yeah? But you can breathe steady. So sitting here at your tallest, but also with strength and softness. So you can breathe from here. And then from here, fold at the waist, bringing the tummy forward. The arms are just an extension of the torso, and find a forward fold there. The feet are quite far out, yeah, so we're not drawing them in towards the hips here, but instead we're reaching the torso over the legs. Gorgeous. Once you find your fold, let the hands kind of hold the legs wherever they can. Shoulders are soft, they're falling away from each other, and the gaze drops down. The head might fold into this shape, and we'll settle for a few breaths. So rather than the arms reaching out and dragging the torso forward, we're actually lengthening from the torso first, extending the arms out from that, and then softening into it. Lovely, really nice. And stay for a few breaths. Maybe one more breath. And then take your time lifting the torso up. Feet walk away from each other so the knees can come in. And we're going to take the hands behind, weight into them again. Kind of play with, does it need to be fingertips? Can the heels of the hands come down? Weight into the arms and lift your chest and open your collarbones. Your hips are staying soft and steady at the floor, so we're not trying to lift them up off the floor. We're reaching the waist out of the pelvis, all the way up to the collarbones, and then the arms are that kind of prop at the back of us, holding the spine upright and long. Oh, these look great, well done. Take one more breath here. And then lift the chest up. And for the final one here, sitting, we're going to reach the legs out. If they're a little bit bent, that's fine. Find again where you can sit yourself upright. So if your knees need to be bent in order to do that, go with it. Yeah. And then we'll take the arms up. They might be slightly forward, but again, can you imagine them as being an extension out the waist? So the waist reaching up to lift the arms. Take a breath here, and on your out breath, fold from the hips forward, over the legs. Let the hands settle wherever they settle. Amazing. You all just got about an inch taller there, I think. We're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, it's up to you. You can either simply lift the chest, or you might lift the chest with the arms as well. It's up to you. Bring the arms down, give them a shake, and then you're going to bend your knees, shuffle your bottom forward, and come and lie on your back and take a little roll of the hips, a nice wee massage into the small of the back. Take a bit of movement, not structured, just let the body kind of play with it and feel where it wants to go. It might circle the knees, it might just hug them. You might get a bit of a rock going on. Yeah. And then if you've not got the knees bent, then bring them in, one hand on each kneecap, and just settle for a wee moment. Let the elbows have a bit of heaviness, the shoulders have a bit of heaviness. And we'll stop for a breath or two here. Okay. And we're going to place the right hand also on the left kneecap. So both hands are on the left knee. Reach that right leg out, all the way down to the floor. Let the thigh bone drop, and then you're going to press that right heel forward and draw the right toes back. Getting a good opening through the front of the hip there. Take a breath or two. And then bend that knee back in, swap the hands over to the right kneecap, slide the left leg out, let the thigh bone drop heavy. And then again, you're going to press the heel out, draw the toes back. Deep breaths here. Nice. And then keep the left leg where it is. Let go of the right knee, bring the foot to the floor, and then slide that out. Reach both heels out, drop the back of the hips into the floor. You might take a stretch through the arms, it's up to you. Do a big sort of good morning stretch. A bit of a wiggle each side of the waist. And then come in when you're ready to bend the knees, bringing the arms down by your side or onto your tummy. And then just stop for a couple of breaths here, at least a couple of moments, just to notice, just to check in. And then this might be where you stay. You might go back to legs lengthening, or you might come to sit, but come and find your place for a couple of minutes of quiet time. Just before we end, giving yourself that gift of some quiet time and space. Settling in. When you get there, just make sure you're comfy wherever you are. This absolutely isn't about sitting on ceremony, sitting in good posture, whatever that is. You might close your eyes, you might have a soft gaze, you might focus on your breath. Your time, basically just to be in the quiet and reflect, be with yourself. I will shut up and I'll meet you in a couple of minutes. You can, of course, stay here for longer. More time in the quiet is what you need. If it feels like it's time for you to come towards the end of the practice this morning, then come to a position that feels like that closing place for you to acknowledge the end of the practice. That might be seated. That might be some other random position that feels right for you. Lying on your side, sitting on the settee. It doesn't matter. As long as it feels like a place to just bring a little bit closer to the formal practice. Before we do that, take a moment just to feel your breath, notice your breath, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. Just notice how you're doing now. Come to the end of the 45 minutes. There's something, a word, a phrase, a colour, shape, I don't know, anything that feels like might be useful to take with you into the rest of the day. Some resource from the practice, and notice that. Breathe it in. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to heart center. Maybe important closing practice, which is thanking yourself for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Namaste.